Welcome to another episode of Casual Mondays. And this week I'm going to answer a comment by an ex-aviator, Sean Benz. Thanks for leaving a comment. And if anyone leaves comments, I'll always kind of answer. It was a month ago. I'm sorry for the delay, but I was in New York. Daniel was here, so we didn't record in time. But let me read the question. So, one, can you do a video on Happy, Hungry, Curious? That was such a clear articulation of a good hire. For those of you who don't know, I own an agency called The 88. And it was probably about 5 years in, we were nearing 50 people. And early on, I think in an agency, as a founder, you hire people that just get you, and the people that get it. And there's like this unspoken, you share values with those people and you share work ethic with those people. And if they don't, they kind of leave or you fire them. And if they do, you stay together, and it just has this natural momentum. But when you start to get into, I would probably say over 30 people, things begin to change. At least this is my experience. You need to start to articulate your point of view, your values, what you celebrate super clearly so people understand your expectations for them. And this is not like expectations. I mean, you could obviously have office hours and remote hours and time periods, but I'm saying your expectations for the work you want to create and the people you want to create with. And here's where Happy, Hungry, and Curious was born. Happy, Hungry, Curious. Happy, Hungry, Curious. So Happy, Hungry, Curious were the values of the 88. And there's a funny story attached to where these values were born out of. So they were actually born out of my firstborn. So Lorenzo was born, and I was father for the first time. And now I'm come up against this thing where I have a lot of people working for me and I need to express my values. And I'm looking at him, and let me explain Lorenzo as a child. He was always hungry. He was freaking getting into everything. He was about 1.5, like getting into everything and poking in the ass, trying to figure everything out. And he smiled a lot. So Happy, Hungry, Curious was born. And these are the values that we used to kind of basically work together to do great work. And how I explain Happy, Hungry, Curious is happy isn't about I only hire happy people. It's an optimism. We work in a client service business. We're always up against something. If you don't come to work with an optimistic point of view, looking for the solution to the problem, you're going to be miserable. And I can't work with miserable people. So please bring that optimistic point of view and let's be happy together. Hungry is that natural drive. I think there are people that just have that drive that when you get together, you do more, you do better, you do great. So that natural instinct, that entrepreneurial instinct of drive, that is a hunger that you're born with that we celebrate. And then Curious, we always drove to do things differently. To do things differently, you need to have a natural curiosity in life of figuring it out. Back in the day, obviously the gatekeeping of advertising and production were behind these like curtains that only few could see beyond. But we're in a world now with social media where everything's out on the table, right? The internet, now even with AI, like your curiosity has no limits. So at the time it was find those people that were naturally curious to kind of figure out how to do things differently and brought that to the table every day. And when I got a group of people together in the office, in real life, working against those three principles, we did the best work of our lives. And it was super fun. It was super inspiring. There were troubles along the way. There were trials and tribulations. There were times that I didn't think we were going to make it. There were times where we were celebrating, but it was awesome and powerful. So for you, again, that was born out of my personal experience. I don't know, hire a consultant to come in and interview me. Maybe that's what you need to do. Or I don't know, go on some crazy mescaline trip in the desert. I just was like sitting there looking at my son, and I really it really touched me. Like, you have to believe it. Like, I believed and lived those principles. These can't be like do as I say, not as I do principles. This has to be like a really simple articulation of what makes you great. And that can then be amplified by the team to make greatness. Because in the end, as the founder, you are the lead, right? You're leading through vision. And your vision needs to be articulated when people can understand. It can't just be like, oh, Harry knows it over there, and we trust him. He'll figure it out. It's like, no, a company, a successful company, a successfully studio is a we. And the we needs to work together under something. So that was Happy, Hungry, Curious. Those values led me to some great success. And again, it's really hard with with bright colors. It's like I can't, even though those are my words and my experience. I have a partner, Lucy, and we work on it together. And that's where we're kind of in the process right now of kind of building that for Bright Colors. And what that right now, obviously, our line is attracting attention with optimism, but that's not really, again, there's going to be something optimistic about what we do. Right now, I focus a lot more on purpose and doing work that actually makes a positive impact on the world, because that wasn't really the case back in '88. I wasn't trying to do damage, but obviously, if you're marketing goods at scale that aren't recyclable, you're making a negative impact on the planet, which is not where I was then and where I am now. So again, I'm working on that now. I'll share it in a later video. But again, it could come to me where I'm like, I don't know, in my garden planting a tree, and these words come into light, and I share them with Lucy, and we both agree that these are the values that drive us. Right now, it is something around like, creativity and kindness. I think there's something about that value of like having that pure, pureness of heart. Like, I don't like the word kindness externally for like a brand, but I do think like I'm attracted to kind people that naturally want to do right by other people, that want to help, and not just to like out of manipulation or to get something, but out of just that like pureness of heart. But anyway, we'll get to that later. Find your values, be clear about them, and that's what you use to hire. That's what you use to kind of guide and grow the team, that push the work, and people understand why they're getting up and working with you every day and why they come to work, whether it's on Zoom or in real life. Find your values, enjoy them, share them, live them, breathe them. Thank you. Peace.